guys, it's Simon here. I was about to go in for my big moment on the first part, and then Katie Hopkins must have magically hacked into my iPad because we lost all our space. So hopefully we have enough space to do the rest of the thing on there. So fingers crossed. We're still carrying on with our 6th Hump Day Hopkins rehash, so hopefully this goes well. So we were on the tweet of the child with half a head and Katie saying, plain wrong, if your baby has half a head, you don't have it. Cruel and inhumane. To be honest, I think people have overreacted with the having it thing, because I'm trying to remember what to say with this one, because I had a good argument in my head. It's kind of like saying, I can't wait to have my baby, I hope it's you would say it in a sentence. So I don't think she was directly meaning it to be nasty and insinuative. If she had gone plain wrong, if it has half a head, you don't have it. If she had done something like that, it'd have been like, well, hang on a minute. But still, it's the parent's decision to have the kid in the end. Some people may abort due to defects and some may not. It's purely down to the parent's decision, and it's purely their thing. So it's a good idea to just stay in your lane when it comes to matters of that. Otherwise you're going to end up getting caught up in quite a bit of trouble. But that's what she's known for doing so we'll move down now. This next one, the genital gap. The inverse relationship between how much sex was had and how close you can now put your genitals. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Okay. She must really not like this Jeremy Corbyn bloke. She says, next one. I am Jesus of the Outspoken. My church is broad. I will be speaking at the Them and Us conference for church and media on 13th of October, RSA. It's like 12 days away, so you might want to file in your things now. Matt says, your children must be ashamed to have Katie Hopkins as a mother. I know I would be. Moving on. Katie says, I just had to tell Scottish person to call me back when he came with subtitles. I'm still feeling bad for Jamie, who lives in Scotland. I really honestly am. Poor girl. She got mentioned by the channel that runs Wentworth over in the UK a couple of nights ago, and was responded with a Frankie thing with saying, I love you too, doofus. She got responded to by Ali and Nicola. Like, that's also lucky, but it's greedy. And I tweeted that out in the form of a quote from the other woman. And I mean it as a fun thing, just in case she's, like, watching and couldn't get my tone. It was meant to be a quote from the film, the other woman, so... Hi. Thanks for the support, Jamie. Let's get back onto this. Ooh, I do hope my neighbours are going to do some more pneumatic drilling, said no one ever. Pneumatic drilling must be that thing that's really, really loud, so I can agree with her on that. Naima says, this table knows, along with a photo that says, stop Katie Hopkins, written on the table. Obviously by someone who obviously had nothing better to do than to graffiti the park placement stuff. This next one I really like. Now we're picking up our roller coaster. Thank you for holding. Your call is important to us, but not as important as our bottom line. Otherwise you'd be speaking to someone by now. Thank you. This happens quite a lot, and it's like, ugh. This would be said by nearly everybody at one time or another. Thank goodness the gold class lines were short at the time I got to order tickets. So, next up. Corbyn just gave his own son a job and a whacking great pay rise. More champagne for the socialist on the moral high ground, please. Uh-oh. At this moment, both leaders are not looking good. But Corbyn will probably get there because of the pig incident with David Cameron. So we won't talk about that now. I'd like people to actually walk away with this with their food still in their stomachs. Okay. Katie says, I can't get the professional Twiglet, Corbin and naked Diane Abbott having Nookie out of my head. Is vegan sperm gluten-free? I have a feeling it might be. This is just from things getting processed in my head. It might be. I'm not sure, but it might be. We'll see what happens. Good morning, lovers, haters, chubsters not owning their issues. Thank you for the kind emails and tweets regarding LBC, Sky News, etc. Oh dear. No More Lies says, damn right, Katie Hopkins about something. Sky News says, I don't always agree with you, Katie Hopkins, but on this, here. Okay, I think I know exactly what we're talking about. When we prioritise different cultures above our lads, I despair. Margate, stand by for the blue-eyed bird in a burqa. I can't detect much from the Daily Mail thing that is put there. And it's honestly, once again, 11 o'clock in the evening that I'm recording this. And I'm worried that my iPad's going to crash again, so I'm honestly just going to keep it at that, and I'm going to look at it later. Daughter, if a stupid person is described as thick, does that make clever people thin? Me? No, but in truth, yes. Exits kitchen. Oh dear. Katie doing what she does best. School the children. Now go and walk children in nature. Next up. Labour Party, please stop sending me emails. I don't care what Jeremy is doing. He is not a leader. I wouldn't follow him into Tesco. What's that other place that has all the things? Costco. Would you follow him into Costco? Just asking. But I do hate spam emails, so she's got a point there. Next up. Remarkable row between Katie Hopkins and Pressure Group over refugees, and that's quite a long audio boom thing, and my headphones are all in my room after listening to Ariana Grande's My Everything album, so I'm not going to bother now. Katie says, you want me to apologise for my views? Never. I am not sorry. I put British people first. I have a feeling that I know what she's talking about, but I'm going to get further down to that tweet before I say anything. Martin the Cabbie says, well done, Katie. Ollie Man is just a bleeding heart lefty. He's just embarrassed to admit it. Katie Hopkins, fantastic as usual. She was on LBC again? I'm seriously behind on this, so I'm really going to have to go and get the stuff. I was meant to react to the Anna interview that she gave with the person who wanted to be euthanized but couldn't be. And I was going to do that in one of my other things, but as I said, work got in the way, and so I'm going to have to do that in my own time. Michelle Harrison said, not often I agree with Katie Hopkins, but she's spot on with this, well said. I have a feeling I also know what that's about, and yep, I'll wait for there. Corbyn is going to apologise for the Iraqi war, but not for being a twat. Unbelievable. Look, we had our Prime Minister, well, our ex-Prime Minister, not apologise for being a twat for a long, long time. So, be thankful that you're actually getting him to apologise for something at all. Just, not a joke, just a statement. Not a joke, just a statement. Next. There's no point in going somewhere to throw stones to the rock. That was a Katie Hopkins quote from Conrad Kieran. And it's true. Claire says, I would swap 20,000 refugees for Katie Big Mouth Hopkins. Uh-oh. Ding, ding, ding. Points for everybody. I think my voice just echoed around the room. So hopefully that comes out fine on the recorder. First up, the VW disaster. 11 million cars don't have quite so much truth in engineering. Then walk to wherever you're going. It's not that hard. Or catch the train, or take a black cab. Or one of them. Joining these two naughties now for the news panel. Pilgrims, prats, and people smugglers. I like her alliteration, but I'm probably gonna have to catch up on that news service. Thank you to the Sun for 2 happy years. My final column here, what I'd say to a 16-year-old me. Oh, that was her last column for the Sun. Good note to end on. She's moving from Sun to Daily Mail, so I'm going to have to get used to putting that in there now, but also the Daily Mail is J.K. Rowling's least favourite paper, so she's indirectly gone and pissed off the person who created Dolores Umbridge. Yeah, I'm going to emerge from under my rock when it's safe to come walking out again. The Sun posts, Katie Hopkins, if only I could sit down and talk to 16-year-old me. And the quote is, we'd laugh at those who say they fell pregnant. No one trips on a penis, for goodness sake. I like that. I like that quote. I think it's funny. Okay. I'm just throwing this out there, but Ollie Mann looks suspiciously left-wing. Is he a vegetarian? Deal breaker. Ollie's saying to Katie, Dab, Sky, Virgin, Freeview, lbc.co.uk, tune in, LBC app, you're not even trying. Well, she is trying, mate, which is the least I can say about you because I haven't even heard about you until now. Tony Strange says, oh, we're getting even closer to the big dip. Merkel, mother of all migrants. Katie Hopkins, the mother of Britain and common sense. Katie says, looking forward to joining Ollie Mann at LBC for the news panel. Pillocks, pilgrims, El Papa, people smugglers, and political no-hopers. And it took me quite a while to get my mouth around all those words. So, once again, I haven't heard the news panel, so I'm not sure how to respond on what's going on. Oh my goodness. There is, French. So, I'm going to try and speak this. Mercy for You is saying, Este clair yon duit l'envoyer les batucs clandestins absolument declare de la plaisentalis. I haven't taken French for 4 years, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit rusty, and I honestly don't know what I've just said, so if someone can pop a translation into the comments section, I may be able to realise what's being said and apologise for potentially starting World War III indirectly, so let's see what we've got. Oh, here we go. Stephen Dorr says, absolutely spot on, Katie Hopkins, and this is what's going on. It's a variety of tweets that are saying, do I think we should be turning back the boats? Absolutely. Time to put British people first. Don't listen to Merkel, mother of migrants. It's time we put our NHS, our schools, and British people first. This is what the 2 tweets are linking back to. Chug, 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 chug. Woof. We have now hit the big dip. And this is the moment where I say that I absolutely disagree with what she's saying. We should be open to these people. And don't complain that you don't have too much housing. It is the United Kingdom. Bitch, you have how many houses in this place? Seriously, you can find other ways to house these people. You can start by putting them in places where people are not going to abuse their rights, which is unfortunately what's going on with some of our detention centres down here, and we need to get on top of that as soon as we possibly can. But come on. Refugees are being turned back left, right and centre when it comes down to certain places. British people are always coming first and always kind of in that self-centred thinking kind of thing. I think with the whole thing with the child on the beach after being drowned picture that was shown, I honestly was really unnerved by that. And I've honestly sat through a lot of True Blood and a lot of HBO shows, and yet that still managed to nerve me. It made me feel really, really upset and really sick to my stomach that that poor kid was left to drown. So and as I'm involved with my school social justice campaign, of course, we've been getting behind trying to help these refugees live a better life when they do eventually come. And the intake that we've got so far is going fine, but we need to start putting more out there. Because honestly, we're not achieving what we should be achieving. And putting the NHS first, you've ragged on them how many times? And this was before the refugee intake of this, so I don't think that paying attention now is really going to help matters get better. Our schools, your schools are going perfectly fine as they are, with all the A things. And like I said, British people are being put first all the time, selfishly compared to these refugees. Now it's time for you to reach out a hand and help these people. I'm honestly not going... She's not going to show any hostility, so it's essentially going to be like flogging a dead horse or or literally just sticking a syringe in, drawing out blood, and then just tossing it to a vampire in an attempt to distract them whilst you run away from them. It's simply pointless. So, I'm not going to press this issue even further, but come on. Come on, Katie. I can reason with her with this sort of thing purely because I know that she has a vulnerable side. When it comes to other people, though, they show when it comes to issues like the refugee intake, unless they can show me that they have a good side to them, I will hold those views. I will hold their prejudiced views against them for a very, very long time. There's someone even at my school that said that we shouldn't be taking in the refugee intake because Australia's in debt. And where did they hear this word? From Tony Abbott, who honestly I would not trust with a 10-foot pole, in the fear that he'd get into his budgie smugglers and do something that we would all regret. So, I'm still holding that against him. Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that, just in case you're watching. So, we are nearly at... Hang on, it was Wednesday yesterday. Yeah, the 23rd. Okay, next up. My latest musings on the modern-day nipple twizzler Michelle Monet. Uh-oh. Voted #1 UK female entrepreneur by Glamour magazine. It's good she's not on The Apprentice yet. I'm not going to look at the article because it could time over. Lovely to speak for the electoral forum today. Life isn't fair, but democracy does matter. So, I'll look at that through. Do I think we need to turn back the boats in the Med? Absolute. I honestly feel like I'm just going to ignore every single other tweet that she says negative things about refugees because I'm honestly going to get myself into a tizzy. Katie Hopkins, finally, someone tells national television what we all think regarding that alien cootie image. Well done to that woman, Katie Hopkins for PM. Alien Cootie is the kid that was found drowned on the beach, wasn't he? Oh, it was. And not just that, clicking onto that hashtag led to a tweet that says that the photo of the kid drowned on the beach was staged. Yeah. You're very lucky that it is 11 o'clock, because I honestly don't have enough energy to get myself into a really angry sweat about this, but I will find a time to squeeze in something where I do say a couple of choice words, which include, how dare you, you nasty bitch, shut your trap. And I don't often say nasty things like that, but when you do something that is really, really horrible, I will flip. I will badly flip. David Kerrison says, strangely alluring and persuasive. About what? If it's about that, then I'm... Oh, down later. East Free says, totally agree. Well said, Katie. Please tell me it's... Oh, God. It's the same thing. David Mann says, the final confirmation of the self-delusion of Katie Hopkins. Thinks she represents people and articulates for the nation. And says, as for the House of Lords, sir, people like me, the people I represent, the things I articulate for the nation, actually, people don't give a shit about the House of Lords because they think we're a bunch of plonkers. And to be fair, that's what most people would tend to think. Oh, is Alan Sugar in the House of Lords? That would literally be the first time that they faced each other in a long while. So, I highly doubt that that's going to go down well. Katie says, seriously, Katie, you need to run for Prime Minister. The new Maggie Thatcher with extra feistiness. She's already pissing people off with the I'm trying to remember the name. The Alan Cootie opinion thing. So I don't think putting her in Parliament right now is going to be the best move. So next up. Will we say upstaged? No, just speaking the truth. Paul Brand, even Nigel Farr gets upstaged by Katie Hopkins, and I think that's probably because of the House of Lords thing. Even Farage can be upstaged by Hopkins. Paul Brandy's view from the UK IP conference. Katie quoted, I am not welcoming migrants. We need to spend more time protecting our culture and less down bowing those who want to join and change it. And Michael Lee says, here. I do not agree with the former. And I think that change is good for culture and introduction into different and broadening our cultural horizons for the latter. But I don't want things like changing permanently. Like, there was one thing on 60 Minutes where there was someone that wanted the whole Australian atmosphere to change and want everyone to live like a Muslim. That's not appealing to me at all. Like, I'm fine with the kind of miniature adjustments that you can make, and it's perfectly fine to practice your religion down here, whatever that may be. That's perfectly fine. But don't try and force it on people that don't want it to be forced on. So, Katie, if you don't want to have to see through all of the different culture sort of things, then you're perfectly fine with avoiding those sorts of shops. But if it's a matter of, like, big proportions with the whole thing, then that's going to be a problem. If that makes any sense to anybody. Katie again, it's time we put British people first. And Sky News, do we need to turn back the boats? Absolutely. And the video's playing, I don't have any audio, so that's going to do about it for a night. The Sun TV says, what's next for James after his big win? Our resident CBB bitch, Katie Hopkins, has some ideas. And I'd honestly not want to hear them because she tore shreds off him then, when really James nominated Austin purely for the point that he was losing the plot, and that was purely based on Jenna's manipulation. So I feel as though if she hadn't said anything, that James wouldn't have nominated him. Plain and simple. Next up. Farage going great guns. 4 million votes, 1 MP, but a relentless leader still very much at the helm. UK IP 15. Come and join us to chat electoral reform at the UK IP conference in Doncaster. Katie Hopkins, best thing I've read by you so far, and I've read a lot of common sense from you from over the year, and a little lunacy. I've seen quite a bit of lunacy and quite a bit of good things as well. I'd remind her you only need as many friends as the fingers on one hand. These are the people that will help you get through. Oh, the 16-year-old thing. That's one that I really like. Please do catch up with my last CVB bitch column today at The Sun. Still can't believe you let the thick one win. Tradition, I guess. Well, Jade Goody didn't win her season. Or seasons, I should say. And I don't think that James is thick. If he did play the game, he played it incredibly well. Because he ended up snatching the crown. So, that's pretty much that. We can agree to disagree. A little questionnaire for you on David Gandy. Is he an A, yes please, I love a man in his pants with pecs, or B? I don't know what the B option is, but I need to know a little bit more. My final column at The Sun today, the things I wished I knew when I was you. That column is actually quite good, so for those who haven't checked it out, you can go and read it. It's quite good. We laugh at those who say they feel pregnant. No one trips on a penis, for goodness sake. Okay. Entertainment Daily says, does the news that Katie Hopkins has signed on for Mail Online mean that Katie Hopkins rules the world after all? Do a Katie Hopkins rules the world thing, a reunion with her at the Daily Mail thing, because that thing goes out to quite a lot of places. Other things. My nipple hair is out of control. Do they do GHDs for female foliage? I is just asking, boom, they, etc. Nice use of your online lingo. Close, but no shaboo. Okay. Austin to win. Judas Hill has been a game player. Game players shouldn't win. At least he's not Perez Hilton. We can say that much. Bobby Davro is not so much a poor man's Jim D official, more a lame Cliff Richard without the singing voice. And to be fair, I thought I'd like him, but after his attack on Farah, like, what? I just lost respect for him. And there's quite a lot that I do have to say on Farah, and my CBB group knows this, because I've gone on quite a bit about it. And I think I'll talk about it a bit later on, because there's this whole trial thing coming up, so I think that may be the focus of one of the rants. Okay. Katie says, everyone say bye-bye to Tash. Stronger than the boys, but not half as fun to look at. Tash to go next, and whatever the actual result, Austin is the winner of CBB Summer 2015 for me. Well, that's sweet. Bye-bye, Bobby. Finally, CBB, thank God for that, which is probably what I was thinking about Bobby and Natasha leaving. If Katie Hopkins ruled the world, if Katie Hopkins ruled the world, I think she must have put a link to the show on the UK page. My final column for The Sun tomorrow, things I wished I knew: electoral reform, cash for refugees, David Gandy, vegan McCarthy, and Paul Hollywood. I'll check later. Our resident CBB bitch Katie Hopkins had some thoughts on Austin's lust for James. I ship Justin. A lot. I'm looking forward to reading through those reasons, but not looking forward to hearing her lambast James. Okay, Media Guardian says Katie Hopkins leaves The Sun to join Mail Online. Knew this. Katie Hopkins is about to get a much, much bigger audience. Again, Mail Online, because it goes throughout to all those things. Thanks for all the kind words about my new role at Mail Online. I look back with fondness and forwards with huge excitement, so hopefully it goes well. 717 pilgrims killed in stampede during religious pilgrimage where they threw stones at pillars. Target practice for Shara, I guess. Uh-oh. Now I understand exactly what she's saying. Ugh. It's not a good idea to throw stones at pillars. You could get a bulldozer and you can bulldoze your way past them. That could help. It's just a statement. Daily Mail Online says, welcome aboard Katie Hopkins. All trains down en route to Doncaster. Co Inky Dinky, or does someone really not UKIP? Walk or catch a black cab. You go on about them enough. I attract crisp eaters like Germans or on a beach. Listen, people, if you are so deaf you can't hear yourself, I can. Eat soft snacks or do one. Oh dear. She's lashing out big time, and I think that's probably going to be directed to me if she ever gets wind of what I'm saying. Once again, the Sun thing, our resident CBB bitch, has some thoughts on Austin's lust for James again. Minister of Farming wants meat seen as tobacco and hopes for total ban. Vegans are God's way of reminding us you need iron for your brain. You can substitute iron with vegetables, because that's been proven during my food tech classes. If there's anything I take away from Miss Haynes's food tech class, other than the fact that I failed nearly every single test, it's that thing there. So there are ways of proving that round, but the issue with meat is really a tricky one, because it's going to be hard to get everyone to literally give it up. Okay. No relatable link between breastfeeding and a baby's intelligence. I'd suggest the thicker the mum, the thicker the child. Breast not best. Uh-oh. Well, it depends. It depends on whether or not the child is, like, extraordinary. Next up. She would never ever put her kids at risk, but your sister's in ISIS-controlled territory with her 5 kids. She's on holiday. Okay, I'm not sure really if I'm getting what's going back through. If someone can explain that tweet to me, please do in the comment section, because I'm getting really tired and I need to wrap up quickly, otherwise it's going to time over. Pray tell, how will you know the difference? Will it be tattooed on their foreheads? Sent to Ashley M. Taylor. who said, "There's a difference between migrants and refugees, Katie. I thought even you'd know that." Right, let's set this matter straight forwards. Refugees are those who come with persecution to seek a better life. Migrants are those that come without persecution to live a better life. That's a simple difference there. So, worked out? Good. Last two tweets are, Seymour Moran says, "She may not be everyone's cup of tea, but let's be honest, Katie Hopkins hits the nail on the head about Turkey sending back British, what's the word for it? Terrorists." And then this one, "You bleeding hearts desperate to do good because of this one photo. You're accountable for this mess." Katie, we're doing this purely on the basis that we're trying to be good people. To be perfectly honest, we should be accepting these people. UK, no matter where you are, we should be doing our part to try and help make the world a better place. Simple as that. Right, so that's pretty much all that I have to say now. And just before this thing time's over, I'm going to be seeing you pretty soon with my Simon Says thing with AHS Hotel and Scream Queens theories. So I'll see you with that soon. And that's the last Hump Day Hopkins rehash for this series. And this season, not this series. There'll be more in series 2. But you get what I mean. There's really, now, nothing else to say other than, bye guys, see ya.